So how is this offseason different knowing that Marcus is kind of physically limited a little bit and how you guys are working together?
And I think Coach Malarkey's mentioned, we're trying to find every way, to get him work. You see a lot of it out here at practice. I mean, we're limited somewhat there, but I think it's been a huge off season just in regards to, what we've been able to do in the classroom, to get a chance to go back and, watch every play from last year, talk about all the cut-ups and all those things. He gets a chance to do a lot of work that way. And then, with his rehab and the way we've tied in his rehab to individual periods to what he's been able to do in 7-on-7 periods, we've taken advantage of everything that he's been able to do. But I think what people don't see is what we've been able to do in the classroom and inside, and the time that we've been able to spend together and talk football. The system's the same. To be able to go back and not have to go through the offensive installation, so to speak. You can sit there and say, okay, hey, the next step is to take it here and to do what good offenses are able to do and grow offensively. And we've been able to do that this offseason.
From what we've heard about his timetable, he's been ahead of schedule. He's been focused on being that. Have you seen that from not only his rehab, but from just the maturity level of focusing in on year 3 and what he can become?
He's a mature individual in everything that he does. Whether it's rehab, whether it's a classroom, whether it's going on, his preparation for anything. He's going to work and put the time in every facet of his game, and that's no different than with an injury. It's been stated. We've had to pull him back. He would love to do more. But the smart thing is for him to be ready for week 1, not OTA 10 and minicamp 1. So we've taken advantage of what he's been able to do. When he's been safe to be able to do that, the 7-on-7, get the reps. He's getting a lot of mental reps, within the film and all those things. But yes, he's working just like he does any facet of his game, and he's in a good position, good shape, and good spot right now going into vacation and a little bit of time away.
A lot of fans took Mariota's going to throw more 7-on-7 in OTAs and minicamp, as in the offense is going to spread out, get more fast-paced, throw the ball more. Is there any truth to that, or is it just trying to get him more reps?
No, I think if you look at 7-on-7, and everybody has their different thoughts, and 7-on-7 is part of practice, and the biggest thing that 7-on-7 allows you to do is the timing and the spacing of routes. It's not the real part of football. You don't have a rush coming at you. You're not having to make the same adjustments. We try to make it as real as possible. Coach LeBeau puts the defense out there. He's going to bring pressures in 7-on-7 just like he does in a period, and we're doing the same thing in terms of trying to make it as real as possible, make the identification, throwing hot off of whenever they're bringing 2 strong or when they're bringing 4 weak, and make all that as real as you can. It's still not 11-on-11, but he's able to get the spacing and the timing, especially with having a couple new receivers. You get 2 new receivers, in the draft, a new tight end, and then a number of guys, that have signed with us. It's about getting that me to you relationship with those guys as much as you can. That way, when we step in training camp, he's thrown each route to Corey Davis, to Taywan Taylor, to Johnny Smith, and all those guys.
What was your first impression of Corey Davis before he stepped on the field and then after he stepped on the field? I know it's early to OTAs, but
yeah, he's been impressive all the way through, and I think that's pretty obvious from where we picked him. But Corey's done a good job of coming in with a very similar approach that Marcus has. He's not a flamboyant, big outspoken guy. He's come in. The biggest thing that has stood out to me about him is he just works, and he's gotten better each day. And what we've allowed him to do, on the field, he's done everything he's been asked to do, and he's getting better and better. He's getting more and more reps on those things. But he's been a true professional. He's been very, very good for a young guy coming in and just coming in and working and learning the system and getting himself healthy.
Marcus and Rashard kind of started off pretty hot last year and kind of picked up on things, being new with each other. Do you see that type of relationship going on with either Taywan or Corey?
That's what you want. I mean, you're bringing guys in for the team to compete with each other in that room, and all competition does is bring out the best in all of us. And we've been able to add more to the mix in that regard. And those guys are competing. Those guys are trying to get their reps, trying to get their touches. And you want to see Rashard grow, off of last year, and you want to see Corey and Taywan and all those guys and whoever's going to be in that room step in and contribute and find their role. And that's what putting an offense together, and that's what we're all doing, as a coaching staff. What do guys do best? What Rashard does best isn't the same that maybe what Corey or Taywan would do. So you try to put those guys in the best situation, running the best routes, blocking, in position to where they can block the best in the run game. Trying to find out where we can put those guys to complete the offense and take another step in the right direction.
In your mind, what's the number one thing Marcus has to work on leading up to training camp or even heading into this season?
I think it kind of carries in, getting that next step. He grew so much as a quarterback of learning how to play the game at this level in the NFL. I joke with him all the time. You know, in college, he was able to run plays and they beat people. You know, they would run the same play on first down as they would on third down and score. And you know, and the ball, you know, not the ball security, but the field position, those type of things weren't the same. You know, playing the field position, throwing the ball away, you know, taking what the defense gives you. If he continues to do that, we go back to last year, you know, of the turnovers that were made, there were 3 or 4 bad decisions in there. You know, there's difference in bad throws and bad decisions. The bad throws happen, you know, in terms of turnovers. But when you make a bad decision, if he can eliminate those 3 or 4, I think that takes him to the next level from what we can do offensively.
Yeah, I saw one of the drills you guys are doing is the string is attached to the ball, and is that pocket presence where trying to get stripped. How do you guard against that? Is it just 2 hands on the ball? Is it just the sense? Like, how did you work on it? Because I felt like Marcus had trouble, but then towards the end of the season, he got better at it.
Right, and we worked a lot on that. You know, ball security is one of those, he's got to, as a runner, as a ball carrier, in and out of the pocket, as well as the decision making he makes as a passer. And you said it right there. It's the instinctiveness of when you're in the pocket, you know, of knowing the rush is coming, knowing where you're protected, being able to move, those subtle movements in the pocket. I mean, every day we start out for individuals, you know, slight move left, move right. That's all those little movements in the pocket to stay away from that rush. And then keeping 2 hands on the football, you know, being able to move the ball. You're getting swiped at all the time, of being firm and having that good grip on the ball, but not being so tense that you can't move. So it's a combination of that and just continuing to work on those things, and he did. You know, early on we had some rough goes, you know, with the ball security, and it seemed like every one that we had early was, you know, returned for 6.
Yeah.
So, you know, it improved, but that's got to continue to improve as an offense. You know, and that's been a big point of emphasis. Is just, you know, it's always ball security, you know, as a quarterback. It's about making the right decisions. You've got to make aggressive plays and make aggressive throws, but it's about making smart throws too.
It's funny because his rookie camp, everybody was talking about no interceptions for 25 practices or whatever. He's thrown a couple in 7-on-7 the last couple of days. Is that for him trying to take more chances in practice, or is that a good thing? Can it be a good thing?
Yeah, you have to be smart, but this is the time of year you never know if you can do it until you test it.
Right.
So you kind of have to push the envelope, and at times that's going to happen. And you can sit there and say those are bad. There's some throws that he's going to say, "Can I make this throw?" When it comes up in the game, yeah, maybe you can, or hey, maybe you can't. And that's the difference of doing it out here. You never want to turn the football over, but there's some things in 7-on-7 and this time of year that we're going to push the envelope to see, hey, you know, versus this look, let's try to give this route a chance and see if we can fit it in there. And that's what everybody, you know, looks at it. It's on the quarterback, but it's on the offense. It's the spacing of those routes. It's been in the right place as a receiver. It's coming across the defender's face. You know, it's about putting the ball on the inside number instead of the outside number. It's the spacing and timing of it. And yes, it comes back to the quarterback, and that's why they always say he gets a lot of credit when he probably shouldn't, and he gets too much when he doesn't.
Yeah.
But that's those things that happens with the quarterback position.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Yep.